Chapter 8. Meet the Alien. Florida, sometime later. Charlie and Vinny had just arrived at the national park where Moto's signal was coming from. Right now it was moving, right towards them.
Could they make this road any more bumpy?
Charlie asked, trying to take it easy with the dodge. That's when they saw an old Ford pickup truck slowly driving down the road, with Moto's bike in the back. "Moto!" Vinny exclaimed. On instinct, he jumped out of Charlie's truck and ran up in front of the pickup as it slammed on its brakes, stopping inches from hitting it. Vinny saw Moto in the passenger seat. His heart raced as he ran over the passenger side of the cab and threw open the door.
"One of your bros, I assume?"
The driver, who was clearly irritated, asked Moto. He then turned to Vinny.
"I nearly hit you! What were you thinking? You could have rented a roadkill, you dumbass!"
But Vinny was too worried about Moto to listen or even consider the insult. After making sure he was okay, he threw his arms around Moto in a tight embrace, failing to hold in tears of relief. Even though Moto was completely drained, he was surprised by Vinny's behavior. Normally, he was headstrong and confident. The crash must have sent him into a deep shock, maybe into a depressive state.
Relax. It's okay, Van. Easy on the waterworks. It's good to see you, too.
Moto said, patting Vinny on the back. Charlie then walked up from her truck on the driver's side of the pickup Moto was in.
You helped Moto?
She asked the driver of the Ford.
Hey, he needed the help. Otherwise he wouldn't have made it. I was just trying to do the right thing.
The young 18-year-old said as he got out of the pickup. He had blonde hair and fair skin, wearing some light camping attire.
I guess you're friends with this guy.
Yeah, we are. What's your name, kid?
Hey, the name's Jaden Skylark, and I'm no kid. I'm 18 years old. Jeez, how old do I look to you, lady? 8?
The young man griped.
No, but you sure can act like it.
Charlie quipped back with some wit. Jaden just rolled his eyes in response and laughed.
I'm not surprised by that one. I've heard worse,
he said.
Maybe you should start from the beginning, Miss...
Charlene Davidson. But you can call me Charlie.
Meanwhile, back in Boise. Manuel parked his car outside his apartment complex, Takumi parking the 8-6 in the spot next to him. They walked up the steps to his apartment. Okay, now, swear you won't freak out, Manuel said, pausing outside his door.
Why would we freak out?
Iketani asked.
Manuel, what is the big deal?
Just put your right hand up and say, I swear on our friendship, and as God as my witness, I won't tell anyone about this, okay? Manuel said, annoyance in his voice. Takumi, Itsuki, and Iketani looked at each other, still puzzled. They finally shrugged and held their right hands up and repeated the phrase.
I swear on our friendship, and as
God is my witness, I won't tell anyone about this.
Manuel felt less than reassured. He got out his key and unlocked his apartment door. The group walked in. Throttle, Manuel said as they walked into the kitchen. You still here? I called you earlier but wanted to introduce my pen pal and his friends. Throttle then limped into view on one of his crutches from around the corner. Iketani's breathing increased to a panicked level upon sight of Throttle, even more so when he saw he was the real deal and it was not a costume as he first assumed. Itsuki was starting to stammer on words, pointing at Throttle. Even Takumi was wide-eyed, and he was usually the most mellow and understanding of the group. I forbid any of you to freak out! Manuel snapped, looking at Takumi, Itsuki, and Iketani. And Itsuki, you better not scream! Unfortunately, Itsuki let loose with a blood-curdling scream before Manuel could finish. Throttle flattened his ears upon hearing the high-pitched wail. Even Manuel covered his. Iketani immediately clamped his hand over Itsuki's mouth as Manuel slammed his apartment door shut, hoping in vain that no one had heard Itsuki. Manuel paused, catching his breath and his nerve. Then he stormed over to Itsuki. "Ooh, God damn it! Do you want the whole building to hear you, Itsuki?" Manuel yelled, his body rigid, eyes twitching in anger. If Itsuki was scared of Throttle, he was now downright terrified by the look in Manuel's eyes. There was a knock at the door a couple seconds later.
Menendez, it's your neighbor Roxanne. What in God's name is going on in there?
His neighbor Roxanne Darcy demanded outside the door. Manuel's demeanor then changed to panic. Throttle limped behind the wall and out of view as Manuel answered the door, cracking it open. I'm sorry about the noise, Miss Darcy. It's nothing major," Manuel said with his best innocent voice, his mind racing to come up with an excuse as he nervously scratched the back of his head. I just have some friends over. We were just playing the latest Aliens game. Ridley Scott put some terrifying moments into it. That's why my friend screamed. He was playing it and got scared by one of the aliens. It's nothing to worry about. Really.
Well, keep it down in there, young man.
Miss Darcy snapped in her heavy Brooklyn accent.
I could hear your friend all the way down the stairwell. Sounded like someone was getting murdered.
They then heard her stomp her foot and storm off as Manuel shut the door and leaned against it. He let out a big sigh of relief.
Well, that was a great PewDiePie impression, Itsuki.
Ikutani said, heavy on the sarcasm, letting Itsuki go.
Now, Manuel, you've got a lot to explain.